What's going on? Welcome. I know we've been wanting to do this for a long time, and after all the conversations we've had and going back and forth about, setting something up like this, like a podcast, and wanting to, I guess, inspire people, have good conversations. But how you been? How's the week? It's 2020. We're on the cusp of Thanksgiving. That's happening this Thursday. What's going on?
I'm doing great, but first things first, I definitely want to give the world a chance to know who we are. You know what I'm saying? So for those that don't know, and for those that do know, hello to the world. It's the week before Thanksgiving. My name is Terrence. This is Phil, my brother. We've been knowing each other for about, just to give us a little history, we've been knowing each other for about, 3 years now. We met at church, and we have what we call a brotherhood. It's not a friendship. It's nothing temporary. Like, this is a lifelong contract to make sure that we are both holding each other accountable and that we are 10 toes down. I just wanted to give us a chance to let y'all know who we are.
Just cool. Like you said it. Like, where we know each other at church. We met each other at a Connect group, and I think at the time, it was the summer, I think, of, I want to say 2018. And, I was coming there with the Men's Connect and wanting prayer for my brother who's going through his issues. That's another conversation.
Yeah, we'll save that.
And then we met, and I got to know you. I know you were praying for your niece and your situation. Another conversation for another time. And then, ever since then, we've prayed for each other through the ups and downs, challenges, crisis, good times. So I'm blessed to have you. I gotta say, man, like, I'm really, really blessed to have somebody who has faith in Christ and wants to grow, who I can call on anytime.
Well, just know that the love goes right back to you, bro. I really feel like I wouldn't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? And just so you know, guys out here, I mean it 100% when I say that this man picks up the phone whenever I call. And if he doesn't, then he calls me back like at least within 5 minutes, and the same goes for him. We just like that, and it's been an awesome ride. It hasn't been easy every day, but it's been great, and I'm so excited to do this with you guys. It gives me a chance to kind of just let y'all feel and hear who I am. Let y'all see the good, the bad, the ugly, the let's reset and let's restart. How many restart buttons can I say that I've wanted to push in 31 years of my life? A lot. But, I'm standing strong. I'm here. The world's in a pandemic right now. We got COVID. Everybody's wearing a mask. While we're on that subject, please, guys, this thing is serious. It's killing thousands of people a day. But just take it serious, y'all. I know nobody wants to wear a face mask. Nobody does. But, the effort that we put in this together, we're actually saving each other. You know what I mean? And maybe one day, we can actually end this thing before it gets too late. I want to urge you guys to make sure that you're making your phone calls to the people that you love. Just tell people that you love them.
Right.
And it takes less energy to be nice to a person, and it takes a lot of energy to be mean to a person. Don't let that go over y'all head, man. Like, everybody's going through something right now. Everybody is struggling. You feel me? So it's like, it does more. We cover more ground when we're just nice to each other. You know what I mean? Even if it's a little compliment, hey, I like that jacket. You know, you'd be surprised the fact that you noticed the person. You know, some people are walking around here just wondering, does anybody see me? Does anybody hear me? Does anybody pay attention to you? So if anyone out there knows how that feels, I know how it feels. It's not the best feeling, you know, because you just want to be recognized. Not even doing something good. You want to be recognized as a person. You want to be acknowledged. So when somebody gives you a compliment like that, it's like, wow, they see me. You know what I mean? And sometimes you might motivate a person to do something good. You never know. But at least just try, y'all. And real quick, I want to say thank you to every person that's working in the medical field right now. You guys are dealing with a lot. I pray for y'all. Me and Phil, we pray for y'all every day.
Right.
I'm hoping that you guys have enough PPE out there and that you guys have all the tools, and that, you know, you get to at least talk to your family. I do understand the schedules. They're very intense. So I want to encourage y'all, just stay strong. Keep fighting. I appreciate you. The world appreciates you. And I do hope that you guys get to spend time with your families for the holidays.
Yeah, I think while you were talking about that, like, I've been fortunate enough to, well, for both of us, we haven't gotten sick. We've been able to go to work. We've been able to, well, since March, and the lockdowns, like, God has been so good. Like, I've been able to attend church online, get to see people throughout the summers, of course, you know, following guidelines like wearing a face mask, using hand sanitizer, washing hands thoroughly. Some of y'all, I just want to speak on that. Some of y'all who haven't been washing hands before COVID, like, hopefully by now, that's over and done with.
Please.
Because we all seen that person who will walk into the restroom, and then walk out, you know.
But see, if you're going to do that, like, I feel like at least use a hand sanitizer, like, right by the bathroom, you know. And I'm thankful for technology, because I feel like, because this thing is so serious, we have pushed technology a very long way. Like, you don't even have to use the door handle anymore. There's a little things under the door, so you can use your foot to open the door. And then if you walk out the bathroom without washing your hands, guess what? There's hand sanitizer right there. You go to the mall, you go to the store, you go anywhere, they have hand sanitizer on shelf for you. You know what I mean? So that's a blessing. I am proud of our nation for taking something so serious and saying, okay, this is where we're at, but this is what we need to do to get further. You know what I mean? So definitely kudos on that. You know,
yeah, it's a new norm. Like,
it is.
When you go out, everybody's for the most part wearing masks, following guidelines. You know, whether it's at school, you know, you see kids wear masks. You see, like, it's just a norm. It's just everywhere you go. It's become part of society, and hopefully the numbers go down and it doesn't get any worse. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, God is in control all day long. And we got to keep in mind that he loves his children. You know, he loves his creations, you know, and God created everything around us, you know. In a sense, that's why everything works in our favor. It works to help us. The things that God has put in place for us here is here to help us, not hurt us. We use it and we end up hurting ourselves, but that's another situation for another day. So understanding that, I feel like this is just something that is temporary. God is in control like he's always been, and he will have the victory at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Period. What's
something that you've appreciated, you know, this year? What's something that's made you shifted your focus or brought you more attention to a certain area of your life that you may have not have I guess. I see you smiling.
See, this is a thing that me and Phil do, because Phil already knows the answers to these questions that he's asking me. So when he sees the reaction on my face that y'all can't see, he already knows why he's pulling teeth, in a way. For me, it's being able to have my niece back in my life. It's been the greatest gift that God has given me. Her alone, she just filled a hill or a hole in my heart. She filled a hole in my heart that I thought for a long time would never be filled. I've been through a lot, and everybody's story is different. My story is a little bit more unique because I took my difficulties, and instead of letting it destroy me or bring me down, I chose to love more because I just wanted to love people because I understood how short life is. Life is very, very, very short. Every day we wake up in the morning, we need to thank God because He's the reason why we open up our eyes, not because our bodies are in TikTok shape, which I hope everybody has good health out there. But you have to understand that it really is a blessing to wake up every single day and experience what all of us call life. Whether you're doing it to the full, you're traveling the world, doing that thing, or whether, you are raising your kids. Shout out to all single parents. Shout out to all parents in general, whether you guys are a family and all that. I appreciate all the hard work you're putting in. I don't have any kids, but I know it's not an easy job. So thank you for all the hard work you're putting in. Even in this situation that we have going on with COVID, I know there's a lot of questions out there that we do not have the answers to, and that you just have to be the best parent that you can be. So with that being said, thank you. But for me, to revert back to what he was saying, it's been my niece. I went a year and a half without being able to see my niece and spend time with her. She just turned 7. And every day I get off work, I literally go straight to her. And if I don't go straight to her, it's because I'm tired. But it's the greatest gift in the world, man, because you get free love, unconditional love from someone that doesn't want nothing from you except your time. And that is unheard of just in this era. Everybody wants something from someone, but nobody loves just to love. My niece, she doesn't want anything materialistic. She doesn't ask me for anything. She just wants my time and she wants my company. So it motivates me to just be the best uncle that I can be, and always lead by example for her, and live the best life that I can live for her, because I understand that I have a purpose in her life and that she needs me. So I really just, all I do, y'all, I go to work and I spend time with my niece, because it's just giving back to her. It's basically just thanking her for being that special in my life. For that, you get all my time. And once again, I just want to thank God for just giving me this human that, doesn't even understand how special she is, but has a gift to make me want to be the best person that I can be. If she's doing that at 7 years old, man, she's going to change the world. Mm-hmm. Like, she is going to change the world. And I'm so excited for her. Ariana, I love you so much. If you get a chance to listen to this, I just want you to know that your uncle is very proud of you. I thank you. I'm so excited for you. You're going to do great. And if you ever need me, I will always be here.
I agree. So you touched on family and, appreciating our loved ones. I have two amazing parents, my mom and dad, who, man, they just supported me every step of the way and helped me be where I am now. and I have like I as an adult, like I definitely have to be more intentional about spending time with them, and inviting them out to dinners, and not waiting, for a holiday or for Christmas or Thanksgiving to come around. And so that's just genuinely wanting to spend time with them is something we've been able to do. Like we went out to Helen, Georgia, during the summer. They love going to Bahama Breeze, that's their thing. So especially my dad. And so we've been able to frequent, just going out to eat more often and spending time as a family, and appreciating that in my adulthood and knowing how much I need that. And yeah, that's something I think not just us to have realized, but I think a lot of people. It's just like hug your family, tell them you love them, tell your friends that you love them, tell the people that are in your circle that you appreciate them for having, them in your lives, and to not take that for granted. So I definitely think this whole year has allowed us to focus on the things that matter the most. And unfortunately, we don't live this year, we don't live in a utopia. Like we don't live in a perfect world, obviously, and there's still holes in our personality and things that we still are that we do in our lives that are dysfunctional. We still deal with social media, and hopefully we all can get a break from that. I know when we were on lockdown, it's like, okay, all you got is social media, and we saw how that went. Like, it's eventually you just get tired of being on there. It's like, what's next? You can Netflix your brains out, or Hulu, or whatever you have.
Facts.
And it's okay. Like, okay, what's next? I've just finished 5, 6, 7 seasons of this show. What's next? And so, I think this time has made us think about like our purpose.
It's definitely put us all in a box, and it's challenged us to think deeper than the substance, because we just don't have the freedom that we used to have. We don't have that anymore. A lot of businesses are going out of business. You can't even go to the mall anymore because you're so worried about being too close to someone or someone being too close to you. Movie theaters, it's put a lot of restrictions on a lot of things. So it actually made us go back to step one of just being nice to each other and thinking deeper. It definitely pushed me to do the podcast, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I've been talking about this since I was a kid. Like, I just want to tell my story to people. I've been through so much. I got so much to talk about. And that actually transferred into, I was just telling everybody my story. I wanted everybody to know why I felt the way I felt. But that was because I hadn't made peace with the things that I had dealt with. And now that I've made peace with the things that I've dealt with, I feel more comfortable and not as much as excited to share it with you guys, because I can talk to you about it versus just telling you about it. There's a difference for me because I've made it past that and I'm different now, versus I'm talking about it and I'm still going through it. You can't really lead by example unless you've made peace with something and you're able to stand and say, okay, I did go through that, but this is where I am now. Shout out to Jeezy and Gucci. That versus battle that they had, a couple nights ago, I think it was Thursday, man, I don't know if you watched it, bro.
Oh, you tell me about it.
It was crazy. So you got two of the biggest rappers in Atlanta, you know, facing off with music, you know, and
so they were having a rap battle?
Yeah, it was kind of, I wouldn't say a rap battle because these are songs that they've already made in the past and present that they're basically just competing with. A rap battle is like when you got two people facing off on a microphone and they're basically dropping lyrics to each other, like, you know.
Why them two though? Because they had beef, didn't they?
Yeah, they had beef. You know, basically versus they do this thing where they pick two artists to face off. They do it like every month, I think it is, or whatever. But this one was pretty huge because anybody that's listened to Gucci or Jeezy in the past understand the history behind this. You know, back when I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, no need to go into that. I listened to a lot of these rappers because they were able to give me motivation to get through what I had to get through or do what I had to do. You know, that was a difficult time for me. And sometimes, you know, I would listen to a song by them and, you know, it gave me that motivation that I needed. You know, so to see them two on a stage together facing off, man, it was crazy. And they got to a point to where Gucci did drop some disrespectful stuff, you know, in reference to a person that he actually killed, that Jeezy knew, you know, and the situation could have went left. But Jeezy, you know, held his own and he was just like, look, like, that was 20 years ago, you know, and you still talking about that same old stuff. I'm here, I've elevated, I've grown. You know, there's people that we have lost that idolize our music, and I think that we just need to switch it up a bit and rise, you know, and do the right thing, you know. And then he, you know, gave a shout out to Nipsey Hussle and, you know, King Von and a few other people that we've lost. We've lost a lot of young rappers in the past couple weeks, bro. And it's within the music industry, you know, so we got rappers that don't like each other and they see each other in a public setting and it's like they want to fight, but then nobody brings just hands to a fight anymore. Somebody's always strapped, and unfortunately somebody pulls out a gun and shoots. You know, it's the retaliation, and it's sad. You know, rest in peace to a lot of the people that we've lost. But so you missed the battle. It was great. I hope that you watch it. I hope that y'all watched it because you get to see the greatness of not just two black rappers. Black Lives Matter right now all day long. But you get to see the elevation of a man that came from that life and decided to do better and wanted better. And when he was faced with the opportunity to go back to that, he rose again to show that I'm not like that anymore. I can do that, but I'm going to choose not to. You know, he values his life. And so I'm definitely happy for Jeezy. I'm proud of him. Shout out to him. Thank you, Jeezy, for being one of the biggest role models in my life. And I hope one day I get to meet you or you get to hear this and understand how much you mean to me as a rapper. So
I think in the span of time that they've been making music, I think it's a good thing that there was no fallout.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 20 years of beef, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's serious. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful that they were both able to stand in the same room with each other and do what they do best. You know, shout out to them.
So as we're reflecting on this year, I was looking at a list of businesses that have gone bankrupt. Or have liquefied their assets. So it looks like I'm looking at it. I'm pulling up a list now. Pier 1, Earth Fair, Noah's Event Venue.
Pier 1?
Yeah, Pier 1 Empress.
What?
Let's see. Some of them seem to be local businesses.
I know California Pizza is out. They shut that one down.
True Religion.
Yeah. Because I used to work at the one in Dunwoody and they shut that thing down. They said that business is going bankrupt. It's so sad how many people, you know, are actually losing their jobs out here. You know, thankful enough, you know, God has given me a job that you know, not only challenges my mind, but it challenges my body physically. You know, I'm thankful for that.
JC Penney. A lot of these seem to be like department stores or
okay. So like retail.
Okay.
You
know, stores that whether it's clothes, furniture, large brick and mortar businesses that have a storefront that in a property where on the internet side, internet retail seems to be where most of the traffic is happening.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Because people don't want to leave the house no more, man. Right. It's like I can do most of my shopping online. Now, will I personally shop for my groceries online? I don't trust that situation. So I'd probably still go to the grocery store if we're allowed. You know, they say Georgia's going to go on lockdown for like 30 days, bro.
I hope not. I know certain states have.
Yeah, they've started.
Been affected.
They started in Chicago. I think they started. I know California is really strict right now. It's a couple states out there. You know. Speaking of which, what you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you doing anything?
Just spending time with family. Small plans, nothing big. Somebody's gonna have to cook the turkey. Somebody's gonna have to cook the mac and cheese, the stuffing. We're not gonna let mom do all the work. We're definitely gonna have to pitch in. And spread out the labor of love and so that everybody is well fed and happy and ultimately enjoying our time together. This will be a very unique Thanksgiving.
It will.
Friendsgiving, if you guys are having that.
Yeah.
Because I know some of us can't be with family, whether it be we have elderly who need to be isolated or with someone in the family that might be COVID positive, regardless. So yeah. Like I've seen this guy. Have you ever heard of Bill? I think his name is Bill Pulte. Like he's the guy who gives away like turkey. Well, he's currently giving away turkeys on. I think it's in Florida. He's like the philanthropy guy on Twitter.
The guys that I know that give away turkeys were the bad guys. You know, those you gotta think about. Those are the drug dealers or the rappers. You know, that's just where I come from. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I'm used to seeing as a kid growing up. You know, that's how they would feed their neighborhood. You know, you guys label these guys because of how they choose to feed their families. You label them as bad guys, but then around holiday season, these same guys that you think are the bad people are actually out here feeding neighborhoods with turkeys, you know, and buying toys for kids, you know, that are going through things, you know. And I've always thought that was funny, you know what I mean? Not everybody has a luxury of being able to get a job, you know, the right way. And that I mean, I understand it's a bad situation or it's a bad way to live, but you could still take that and do something positive with it and give back to so many people, you know. So when you speak on things like that, you know, it just, I'm not gonna say it triggered me, but it just made me like, wow, you know, I just thought it was cool, you know what I mean? Because they don't have to do that with the money that they're making, you know what I mean? But they're feeding people, you know, and I think that's important that you know, it's not about the materialistic things, you know. Most people, we chase the diamonds, you know, the nice cars, the materialistic stuff, the big house and all that. It's about the influence that you leave behind. Me and Phil, we go to a church called C3 Atlanta, and our mission statement is inviting everyone under our influence a full life with Jesus. That doesn't mean that we're literally walking up to you and throwing the Bible in your face and asking you if you know who Jesus is. It's basically just saying that God gave each and every single one of us a gift. And it's using that gift to influence someone else, and that's really what he means by feeding his sheep. We have to understand that nobody lives forever. And if we had the ability to, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to live in this world 190 years old. At some point you want to rest and you want to go to that higher place. But the cool thing about it is, the awesome thing about it is that we all have an opportunity to leave something with us, or leave something with someone else that knew us. We all have the opportunity. When I was younger, I lost my mom. I lost my mom when I was 11 years old. One of the most difficult situations that any child would have to face, and no child should have to face that. That was definitely growing time for me, because I had to figure out my entire life as I knew it, and create a pathway and accept it and create a new lane for myself, but one of the greatest gifts that my mom gave me was a lifetime of memories, and influence. She always taught me to respect my elders, say things like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am, no, sir, or always hold the car door open for a lady, or open the door for a lady, or any person, really, you know what I mean? Like, she was just that type of person. And to this day, I'm 31 years old, and those rules still apply. Like if I see someone, I'm always trying to go above and beyond to aid that person. Me and Phil, we could tell you a story. We were in church one day, and a guy fell and hit his head on the ground, and I noticed it, and I literally stopped everything that I was doing, and I took off my shirt and I placed it behind his head because I wanted him to be comfortable, and I reached out my hand and I held his hand, and I told him, let me know on a level of 1 to 10 how much you're hurting. I want you to squeeze my hand so I can know how much you're hurting, and nothing mattered at that moment except him. I just wanted to make sure that he was okay, and then when I turned around, I had like probably 50 people standing around me as I'm giving aid to this older man. I'm thankful for that type of influence that my mom had on me, and I'm thankful for the memories that she gave me, because that's what it takes to get us to get me through. You know what I mean? I physically will never see my mom again. But she's with me every day. Her spirit is with me every day. I feel her love. I hear her voice. There's songs that come on that remind me of her, and it just makes my day. It makes me smile, but the reason why I'm saying this is because if we start now, today, we all have an opportunity to leave some type of positive influence on someone else. You know what I mean? Like, you just give someone a compliment, just let them know that, hey, I see you and I notice you, this COVID thing, man, I know we keep going back to that, but it amazes me on how much it's changed everything. You cannot say that COVID has not affected your family or affected your way of living or your way of thinking in any type of way. Like, it's affected everyone. Everyone has some type of anxiety about COVID, whether it's really high, whether it's medium, whether it's really low, and it's affecting people's finances. People are having family members pass away. You know, God has always been needed, but God is needed more now than ever because this thing has not stopped. You know, we've had terrorist attacks. You know, those things, I'm not going to say blow over, you know, but we rebuild. You know, but this thing, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. And we have people who are highly educated that don't even have the answer for this. We have leaders, you know, like our president, that they're still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, I think it's imperative that we just take this and it's like, okay, what can we do to help someone else? You know what I mean? Because we're not in this individually. Everybody is being affected by COVID. How do you feel about that? Like, what can you say that you've done just this year alone to leave some type of positive influence on someone else?
Man, that's a loaded question. I think and this is something that I need to continue doing, but I've had the privilege of, you know, serving on a small group with middle school students, and with middle school guys, you know, we've just been able to have fellowship. And this started in the summer, where we were on lockdown and social distancing, and we got to just meet on Zoom, watch movies, have discussions, and we had an opportunity to give away prizes. Like, we had a question of the week.
Oh, cool.
And so, like, each question of the week, the students had to answer that question, and whoever gave the best answer won a prize. And it was fun to just go out and you know, hand deliver these prizes to these students, just to encourage them, just to let them know that, hey, you're loved, I see you, I know you, I hear you, and no matter what, we could still have fellowship. We can still be a light during this pandemic. And so to be able to do that with a team of 4 other guys was just awesome. And we got to see the Star Wars trilogy. We had movie nights on Zoom, and we played games online. And so it was a cool way for us to connect and still have fellowship, while being, you know, miles apart, but still being able to hear our voice and leveraging technology to still interact and still have fun. And I thought that was really cool. We actually had guys show up. So I think that was really cool. Yeah. Technology that we've always had.
Oh yeah. You know, so. I mean, one thing I can definitely say about me and you, I've enjoyed how close, you know, me and you have gotten this year alone, because, you know, we were already close before, but we looked at the situation from a standpoint and said, okay, like, I got your back, you got mine, but how can we help each other grow in this type of thing? You know what I mean? And you've taken it, you know, upon yourself to kind of be a leader to me, you know, and be a mentor to me and someone I can call. You know, it's not important that you agree with me on everything that I bring to the table. It's important to me that you show me a better way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what leaders do. They don't chastise you and say you're wrong for thinking that way. However, their job is to say, you know, I hear your ideas and I get what you're trying to do. But if I could, please, let me show you another way to look at the situation, or another way to assess the situation. I think that you would be a little bit more successful if you do it this way. Not to disqualify your ideas or your thoughts or your feelings or anything like that. However, I would just like to see you elevate to a higher level. So let me challenge you a little bit. Instead of doing it this way, how you feel about doing it this way? And that has actually made me a better person. It's changed my way of thinking about a lot of things. I'm very careful with the way I move, very careful with the people that I surround myself with, the things that I say. I have knowledge in certain things. Now, because of you've used your training, your military training, to actually make me somewhat intelligent in certain areas. Thank you for your service on our country, by the way. I appreciate you, and I appreciate anyone that's actually in the armed forces or anything that you're doing for our country right now. I know we spoke on the nurses and the doctors previously, but I also just want to thank the policemen out there, and thank the firemen and anyone that's doing what they can, not because it's a job, but because of who they are. I think the world and I say this not to take away from the issue, because it's still an issue, but I say it because we have to understand that not everybody is built that way. We've lost a lot of people due to police shootings this year. We've lost a lot. And while being on the fence, because I am a black man, I get it. I just want people to take for a second that there are still some good people out here that really are doing this job to feed their children. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions that's going to come up on this. Why this? Why that? Why that? And I understand. I get everyone's feelings. I do. But let's just be thankful for them. Because when they take off that uniform, they are regular people just like you and me. And I'm not just talking about police officers. I'm talking about the doctors that take care of us. I'm talking about the firemen that put the fires out. I'm talking about national security. I'm talking about the people in the military. I'm talking about the people who make sure that we are safe as people. When they take off that uniform or that badge, they are still regular people, and they have feelings, and they count. So, yes, as a black man, am I upset about the numbers increasing in police shootings? Yes, I am very upset about that. But I do acknowledge the fact that they are still people, and that I still need to be thankful for them. Just because you're an officer or you work in a line of duty or anything like that does not make you a racist person. It does not. We have to think higher than that as people. We have to think deeper than that as people. We cannot move further or do anything productive if we are going to be stuck on that one thing. We got to change the way we think, and I wouldn't be human if I didn't have to change the way I'm thinking either. So, I think with everything that's going on right now, we just need to be thankful, and we need to treat people with respect and just thank them for their hard work, because they don't have to do what they do. These teachers don't have to teach. They don't. For those of you that have kids, I know that the internet learning is a hassle. But we need to be thankful that the teachers are able to stand in front of their computers and still teach, because they had to teach themselves how to do that. It's not like we planned for this thing to happen. It's not like we were prepared. Everybody's just trying to figure it out together. So while you're frustrated, you don't think they're frustrated too. You don't think they have problems too. And that's why I'm so thankful, because it's like everybody is kind of just linked in, with where no one can say that they're better than anybody no more. No one. Because this thing has affected everybody. Even from sports. You know what I mean? Like, the Lakers won the championship this year. Rest in peace to Kobe. They deserved that, man. They really did. Kobe, that was a hard one. But, think about how hard it is for them to play a game that they love, but their fans can't even see them. It's affected everyone. The award shows, when these artists perform, all that stuff, man. It's, that's really, I think people just need to be thankful. You know what I mean? Well, what was you pulling up? I saw you pulling up something on that.
So you mentioned the police shootings, and it reminded me of Ahmaud Arbery, who was unarmed, 25 years old, jogging in the neighborhood. And this happened here in Brunswick, in Glenn County, Georgia. And that hit home for me because in order to, cope with this crazy Rona, that was something that I did. I ran at parks. I used to run in the neighborhood, but I'm afraid of getting ran up on a dog or loose dog coming in trying to bite me, and I've seen stories on the news.
Yeah.
And so I just prefer to go to a park anyways. But that was, that happened in February of this year. This was earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit home for me because here's a young black man who's simply running in the neighborhood and was confronted by a son and a father, both armed, and shoot this man down. And I was like, no one's safe anymore. Like, I don't feel safe. And it happened here. And ultimately it led me to purchase my first firearm, even though I've shot rifles in the military and have shooting experience with that. But I had never owned a pistol prior, and for years I'd see the headlines of black man getting shot, and I used to tell myself, okay, I need to get a firearm eventually. I need to buy one, and I couldn't let the opportunity pass anymore, because at this point I genuinely did not feel safe. And this happened in February, and little did we know later in the year the George Floyd story would break, and then several more people who we lost in the United States or in Georgia alone.
Yeah, I don't understand it. You know what I mean? But I don't understand it, but I refuse to stop loving people because I'm upset. Like I remember, like I was watching TV one day, and it was when we had the protest. I was just watching it, and I saw this mob of people standing in front of the CNN building in Atlanta. And it was so calm and peaceful, and everything was going well. And with the drop of a dime, everything shifted, and everybody went crazy. And police cars were being lit on fire, and there was spray paint all over buildings. It was like an on and off switch. It happened so fast. And I'm watching it on TV. Now, most of the time, you would watch these things on movies. Mm-hmm. You got The Purge and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you're like, it's a good movie, right? But then you're watching it on your TV in your state, in your city. I think I would have felt different if it was happening like Pennsylvania, New York, Texas, But it happened in Georgia where I live, where I sleep. And it happened in Atlanta where I live, where I sleep. I've been to that building before. I've been to some of the best concerts in Atlanta in that building before. So it hit different. So I remember watching that and I called my dad and said, my dad. And he said, "What's up, son?" I said, I think it's time to go shopping. He said, "I'm glad that you called." Okay. I wasn't talking about going shopping for a pair of shoes.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? I love our amendments. You know what I mean? And I pray that they never go away, because I did decide to go arm myself. But I wasn't stupid. I didn't get a gun just to get it. I spent time with you, and we practiced going to the gun range, and we also practiced gun safety. Those are very important things, because what you hold in your hand can take someone's life away if you're not careful with it. And so I understand that, and I take it very seriously. But it just frustrates me how many times it's happened this year alone. There are instances that have happened, and I get it, to where the person had a knife on them or maybe a pistol, and the officer had to, okay. But for the instances where the guys were unarmed, I don't understand it. I don't understand, and it hurts my heart because, it affects us as a whole, as people, but it affects the family even more because that was somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, somebody's neighbor. You see what I'm saying? It goes further, so it's like they have to live with that for the rest of their life, and it's sad. It's so sad. I look at Nipsey Hussle. Are you familiar with Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Nipsey was a king, and he will always be a king. He was a rapper, but he also fed his people in Ethiopia. He took care of an entire country based off of his success alone. And he was murdered. He was murdered because he told someone that they can't be around him. And he was shot in broad daylight and killed. That man did nothing wrong. You see what I'm saying? While some may look at it as, yes, he was a Crip, he was a gang affiliated, blah, 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 blah. Okay, take that and just put it to the back for me, just for a second. And let's talk about the good things that he did. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a great person, and he used what he had to make a difference in this earth, and he influenced so many people with his talent that God gave him. So it bothers me that good people are being brutally murdered because someone else is either jealous or they don't understand them or they don't like them based off of simple things like the color of their skin. You don't know anything about that person, but because of the color of their skin, you hate them. That's how simple your mind is. You're not even looking to see, is he educated? What does he believe in? What is he inspired to be? You just see the color of their skin and automatically it's like you're disgusted.
Well, let me say this. So when there's a confrontation between an officer and a citizen, in speaking specifically to an African American male who's whether they're being stopped or pulled over for a traffic violation or just maybe suspicious activity, or they're being approached on the street, and then you go through, let's say there's
within that confrontation, there's, a fight breaks out, or there's physical confrontation, and now the police officer has to make a judgment call, and they have a number of choices to make.
Yeah.
And every situation is different. The person might be carrying a knife. The person might be unarmed. The person might be running away. Person might be trying to, defend themselves. Then you have the unfortunate cases where the person is pulling out their wallet or their cell phone. And so you have all these different situations, and then a police officer has to sit there and assess and make a judgment call. Should I just should I shoot? Should I chase? Should I disarm? And that alone, I think, is one of the toughest things that a police officer has to make. And you and I, what saddens me is when that judgment call, or when a decision is made to, or the answer to that situation is like, pull the trigger. When the trigger is pulled too soon, and like when you have a trend, when you see a trend across all these cases of black men being killed, and it's being addressed in the media, and we see it in social media. We see the videos of, it's like, okay, well, the judgment call that these police officers are jumping to is pull the trigger and shoot to kill. And that judgment call ends up being fatal, and then now we have public outrage. I mean, it's heartbreaking because I wasn't there, and I can't imagine being a police officer and having to deal with that situation, and having to figure out and assess which choice is the best choice. But I mean, I believe there has been a trend, and I think that's already been addressed, and people are fully aware. And then you have George Floyd's case where it was like blatantly evil, killing. And you have a man who had a police officer's neck, hit a knee on George Floyd's neck, right? And so it's injustice, injustice that's being played out, and is just played out over and over again, and eventually people will cry out and have enough.
Why put your knee on his neck though? You see what I'm saying? Like, I still don't understand that. It was like 4 cops around him, right? 4 or 5?
At least, yeah. There was at least four cops there.
And so present. It's like, why are you putting your knee on his neck when the man is saying that he can't breathe? Obviously, he's talking to his dead mother, saying, "I'm on my way. I'm coming home. I want my mom." And you're still pushing your knee on his neck? And then for the rest of the officers, you guys stood there and watched it being done and did nothing. That goes deeper than being a police officer then. Now it's just telling me that as a human being, you could care less. You're not doing it. You're not turning your back and looking the other way because you're looking out for your police officer brother. You're doing it because as a human being, you do not like people. And you want to hurt people. And see, that's the problem. That's the issue. You know, and I think that's where the confusion lies. You get a badge because you want to help people, not because you want to hurt someone. You know? I think they should amplify these tests that they're giving. That, you know, like the personality test that, you know, they make the police officers take. You know, and if they brains ain't right, they'll answer the question wrong, or, you know, whatever that they do. I think they need to make it a little bit more difficult. You know what I mean? Because it's happening too much, which means that they're still getting in. You know what I mean? But if we amplify these tests, these personality tests or these brain tests, you know, we could start saving some lives. You know, I know with the military, I had a friend of mine who's a Marine, and he had lost his father. And when he got back from boot camp, you know, they basically didn't let him go back in because they were able to pick up on the facts that he was depressed and things like that, and they thought it wouldn't be the best decision for him to continue on, you know, as a soldier. So he was discharged. And honestly, I think that was a great decision because it's like you can't think straight. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to deal with that, you know, and then you're trying to defend your country at the same time. And that's a difficult thing. You know what I mean? So I think we should do that for the officers too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How you feel about that?
I definitely feel like I know police officers go to the academy and spend another number of months there, and they get training. And every, I guess, police force in every city is different. It varies, and I feel like military members have to go through way more training when they go into deployment. And, you know, throughout the year, I mean, that's all you're doing. You're constantly training, and, you know, going through whether it be tactical training, whether it be weapons training, whether it be safety, how to dress a wound, and so if the bulk of the trainings is happening at the start of a police officer's career at the academy, and it's not followed up by continuous training, meaning guys get pulled out of the field, right? Mm-hmm. Because
they have to go to training.
Right. They have to get training.
Yeah.
And if that means that we need to...
it's like refreshing your skills. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, you got to practice, you know, and people change. The older that we get, you know, certain things irritate us more than others. You know what I mean? We run out of patience. It's basically just repolishing the metal. You know, I think that's important. I think it's very important. And also, things happen in life. You know what I mean? People go through stuff, and it affects them differently than how it affected them maybe 10 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago. Right. You know what I mean? It might hurt them more. So it's important that if they're in that type of industry or field, that they just, you know, recheck the skills. You know what I mean? Just go back through training. I know for my job, I'm always learning something more that makes me a better person. You know, I'm always learning. I work in a warehouse, so it's like you got these we call them rollies. They're little belts with rolly things on them, and you know, for the longest I didn't know that they can extend. You know, and I used to have to take the box and walk it to the belt, and then I figured out one day that it extends. So now I can just roll it, and it saves me so much more time. just as an example, you know what I mean? So let's just, think about how many officers will have, I guess more knowledge or better training. And on top of that, we'll be able to weed out the bad ones. You know what I mean? Because they're going to show up more. You know what I mean? Some of them might not even want to go to the training. Right. You know what I mean? Some of them may stick out like a sore thumb. But do they even do that right now? They might do it now. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that, and I think that would be a question that we could ask David. And, one day we could just talk to him and see how that works. How you feel about that.
Yeah, I think having somebody on who has experience in the field and could speak to that situation, because I don't have in-depth knowledge of that, so yeah, I agree. On a positive note,
yes, definitely.
Again, I just want to say that that I think it's important to again address that we got to appreciate just being thankful, just thankful for what you have.
Definitely.
Seeing what God has given us, and with our family, our resources, our time, and just being thankful for what we have and growing that. I know God, everybody likes the sweet salvation side of God, but God has a business side, and He calls everything to accountability, and He, I find Him asking me like, what do you have? What have I given you, and what are you doing with it? And so I think that speaks to this moment and us being able to have this podcast and using what we have and addressing real life issues that we face, right? Issues that we faced this past year, and looking forward and seeing how those things can be addressed and improved upon. But also it's timely because it's Thankskiving, so I just want to ask,
like perfect timing.
Yeah, what are you thankful for?
For me, right now I'm thankful for peace. I've grown so much, and through my growing, even within like just this year and the year before that, Phil, I wasn't the same person, and I've grown from that. A lot of negative things that I used to do, a lot of negative people that I was involved with, I've kind of moved past that, and I've decided to kind of leave it alone. So I feel like as a man that I've grown a lot, and I'm just thankful for life in itself. Not every day is a good day, but it's the lesson behind the bad days that make us better. You know what I mean? If life was all sweet cherries and pie, we wouldn't learn anything. We wouldn't be challenged to grow. But through our difficult days, we are pushed to grow, and I'm thankful for my difficult days, because I wouldn't have made it this far. Yeah. I wouldn't have made it this far, but I've made it this far because I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. And if I did have that choice to not go through the pain and not go through the fire, I would probably not go through it, guys. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you, because I would know that it's not going to be easy. Nobody wants to take the hard route. Nobody wants to take the hard route. But as people, we take the hard route because we know that it's going to make us better people and better for the future. So I'm definitely thankful for that. I'm thankful for this food that I'm about to receive on Thanksgiving, boy. Man, I'm going to go to my dad's house. I'm looking forward to probably some good homemade mashed potatoes, the green beans, the sweet potatoes, sweet potato pie. I'm definitely going to give me some pie. the turkey and ham, and just family time. Me and my dad have grown as men so much, and our relationship is a lot closer than what it has been in the past. And it means so much to me, but I think I'm starting to see that it means more to him because he's proud. I feel like he's proud of me, and that is one of the biggest accomplishments to me is because, I didn't take the normal route that everybody else did. I'm the only one in my family that really just works. I really just work full time and I kind of stay out the way and mind my business. Never went to college, didn't go to the military or anything like that. There's no, I didn't make a record deal. You know what I mean? I'm really just a hardworking man. And the fact that I say that and I can actually handle my responsibilities as a man, it says a lot about me. I didn't get no handouts, nothing like that. Have I needed help before? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs help. Duh. But when you hear it from someone that you looked up to for so long, like give you that recognition, I'm proud of you, you're doing your thing, and keep doing it. It just reminds you, it just brings it all back together, man. It brings it all back together. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I'm thankful for that. I hope everybody out there has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Please remember to stay warm. I know the weather in Georgia is up and down. I don't know what it's like in the other states, but just please dress warm, y'all, and make sure that you keep your hand sanitizer on you, your face mask. Be respectful of other people's space. Not everybody has the same comfort levels, so just practice 6 feet, and just continue to be nice to each other. Temperatures are going to start changing. Stress levels are going to start rising because people want to provide for their kids. People want to, buy gifts for each other. We all know how around this time of year it gets. This is nothing new, okay? So with that being said, let's just be nice to each other. Make it easier on one another, because right now with COVID, I think things are a lot more stressful than normal. And then you got COVID and the holidays. Come on, P. Like, it's real. Mm-hmm. It's real. So just spread love, man. What you got?
Well, when you were talking about peace, I looked up the verse, Romans 5:3-4. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And how all the things that you've been through, though they've been tough and most likely you didn't want to go through it, allowed you to produce character. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot of wisdom. And I can say, being on the other side of my tough times and having overcome them, I'm just thankful to have gained wisdom from that. And I think as I grow and continue to age, I'm thirsty for wisdom. It's going beyond just like between what's right and wrong, and asking, okay, what is the better situation, or how do I deal with this? Lord, how do I deal with this situation? So I can agree with you. I'm thankful for wisdom. I'm thankful to have God in my life. I'm thankful to have a church in my life. Thankful to have you in my life. And just being able to, draw from that. And I think that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Just to be part of a community and where everybody's chasing God and everybody wants the best for you and you want the best for them. And we're all striving to remain obedient to His word and ultimately see that same life-giving or life-changing you know what I'm talking about. To see that change to happen in people in our lives and our influences, who we desire. So,
I mean, I love the fact that you actually brought up the Bible verse, because now I'm going to have to challenge that and take it a step further. I hope all of you have your Bible app. If you don't, definitely download it, because even if you don't read the Bible every day, the Bible app gives you a daily verse, so it's kind of like reading the Bible every day. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I don't open the Bible every day. You know what I mean? But I thank God every day I wake up in the morning and I use my Bible verse every day. So basically today's verse is 3 John, chapter 1, verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Just to break it down for y'all, in simple terms, it says, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you. And that is basically, just bringing it all together. Basically what me and Phil are just saying to each other, it's basically just praying peace and praying growth upon everyone, not just yourself. You should want to see everyone do good. You should want to see everyone flourish and grow and be better than what they were before, because, life is just going to keep passing us by, man. Life it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. And our goal, our end game should be to grow with time, not to do worse with time. I don't know anyone that wants to just do worse than what they were doing before. Things happen. They do. And it causes us to sometimes have to take a step back. But I don't think no one just sits in the morning and says, you know what, this is going to be my worst year yet. Right. And if we do find that person, we need to give them a hug. You know what I mean? Because they got better days coming. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Well, awesome word. I think that's a wrap. I think it was a good.
Yeah, I mean, today is Saturday, November 21st. This is the first podcast, and I just want to say, Phil, man, it's been awesome with you, sitting here with you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Yeah. This is why I call you every day. I don't care if you answer the phone or not. I'm calling you, bro. Yeah. And I'm so thankful to have a brother like you, because you challenge me and you help me grow as a man. And I hope that I get to do the same for you in return. I want you to know that I'm proud of you. I will always be proud of you, and I'm always going to be in your corner. I look forward to our next meeting on Saturday. Let's just do this every Saturday, bro. I think it's easy. You know what I mean?
You have to hold me to it. We'll see.
All right. And to the folks out there, I hope you enjoyed it. And have a blessed day. Stay blessed. Stay encouraged. Stay loved. And happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. There you go.
All right.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right.